Neil, can you just break this down for the non-lawyers, myself and in our audience, what this is? What part of this has the Attorney General of the United States sued over?
So what this is, Nicole, is the Justice Department that I've been waiting for. It's a wise and powerful action today. It's a lawsuit against the state of Texas saying that this bill is unconstitutional. And the bottom line is it shows, I think, an intelligent and tough Justice Department, one that's standing up for people's rights as opposed to taking them away, which is what the Trump Justice Department did. And so it has three parts, this lawsuit. One is the complaint you highlighted about abortion, that this Texas law flatly is unconstitutional because it restricts women's rights. But there's two other features of this too. One is it isolates this vigilante provision, this kind of citizen suit provision that says, oh, the Texas officials aren't going to enforce this law. It's going to be individual citizens. That was a trick that allowed them to evade court review for a time. But that trick and the gig is now up. I think the Justice Department calls them out on that, says that if this were the law of the land, it would proliferate in all sorts of other ways and deprive people of their constitutional rights. And then the third leg of the stool is an argument that the federal government is directly harmed by these Texas restrictions. For example, there are federal contractors who are required under federal law to get access to medical care and the like. And what this law does is it restricts the ability to do that. And so what they're doing here, what Attorney General Garland is doing, is saying, we, the federal government, are hurt. We're filing this lawsuit not just on behalf of individuals and their rights, but also the federal government's rights.
So, Neil, it sounds so compelling, again, to a non-lawyer. Is it the view, in light of what this lawsuit says, that what the Supreme Court did was basically dodge because it was tricked? I mean, did this vigilante piece outsmart the United States Supreme Court?
No, I don't think it outsmarted it, but this is a case in a different procedural posture with the full weight of the United States behind it. And so one could expect a different decision, at least as the case goes up to the U.S. Supreme Court, and courts to say, hey, you know, we got to actually reach the ultimate merits. But here, Nicole, is the problem. Ultimately, this case is going to go to the United States Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court already has pending before it a case from Mississippi with abortion restrictions after 15 weeks of pregnancy. Both of those cases have the possibility of overruling Roe versus Wade on the merits. At some point soon, the Supreme Court's going to have to decide it. So I think what the Attorney General today did was really wise in saying and putting together a really powerful complaint that I think isolates why in the trial court and in the Court of Appeals, this thing's flatly unconstitutional. When it gets to the Supreme Court, however, all bets are off.
Neil, I want to ask you, just because I don't want to get too far away from the people paying the price today, while all the legal moves are important and we're going to cover them closely, there are women today who may have woke up 6 weeks and 1 day pregnant and don't have access to make a decision. They don't have agency over their own body. Is there anything in this category that can happen quickly?
Yes, the federal government can come in. They haven't said they are. Come in and seek an emergency injunction. I hope that they will. To stop this law right now from going into effect. We heard signs of that in the Attorney General's statement. He said women right now are effectively precluded from getting abortions because of the chilling effect of the law and the like. And I have to say, this whole lawsuit reminds me very much of the exercise we did in 2010 when Arizona enacted SB 1070, which was a set of very serious restrictions on immigration. And we carefully studied it, and we reached almost the very same kind of lawsuit that was done here. It's not just about individual rights, it's also about the federal government's own unique rights in this area. So those two things together are a very, very compelling case. And so I do expect this lawsuit to go forward and be bad news for Texas, at least until the U.S. Supreme Court